of clinical experience with a special interest in the field of aesthetic clinical dentistry. He is a past president of the Philippine Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, the
Yeah.
assistant treasurer of the Asian Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, and still an active member of the Pa Dental Society. He has been a keen advocate of the clinical skill-based programs to enable general practitioners to continually upgrade themselves and the quality of care that they can provide to their patients. He has completed the postgraduate aesthetic curriculum at the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, and pioneered the continuing education program tie-up between the university and the Philippine Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry. He is also a fellow of the Pierre Fauchard Academy and a frequent lecturer on the essentials principles of aesthetic dentistry at the Philippine Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry 101 course. He has lectured nationally and internationally for so many years and has been involved and an advocate of MICD since the time that it started in 2010. Currently, he runs three prestigious dental practices in the Philippines: the Dental Studio with Dr. Sonny Burias and Associates, another branch in the bustling Bonifacio Global City or BGC in Taguig, and in the Hollywood of the Philippines, Quezon City. Let us all please welcome Dr. Sonny Burias.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. My topic for this morning will be about the MICD movement throughout the years. You know, my godson, I always call him my brother. Now he's my godson. I'm in the practice, and I've been as a key opinion leader and an advocate for the MICD way back in 2010. At the same time with the MICD Global Network and Shofu Incorporated Singapore in 2010. This is my practice. Like Dr. Kim said, I've been practice in 3 different locations with very young team who are also advocates and also a member of the MICD movement. And we are very proud to say that we incorporate our practice almost of the time in MICD philosophy. You know, like Dr. Ronnie said, these haven't been started, or when we started all this in 2009, we thought we've been in the practice of aesthetic dentistry for, I would say, 20 plus years. Something has changed in this new era about aesthetic dentistry. You know, we have thought about this with some of our colleagues with regards to do no harm philosophy. Of course, if you all know already, like Dr. Ronnie said, Dr. Sushil started this and published this in the Cosmetic Dentistry article in 2009. And so we are very happy to say that we want to embrace this. But in a way, how do we start this? Where do we share this? In which country, in which community are we going to plan and share this? So this philosophy, like Dr. Ronnie said, it's nothing different. It's been there for quite some time. But taking care and planning and discussing about the mission of MICD is quite a big challenge. So in 2010, I have a chance to meet Mr. Patrick Lowe, the executive chairman now, and during that time he was the managing director. And we already have that memorandum of agreement that PAED, or the Philippine Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, will hold the first MID symposium in Asia. So I was a bit younger then with some of our past presidents of Philippine Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry. And they come up with a lineup of lectures from Nepal, from Singapore, and from Japan. And they want to share what's the real story behind the MICD movement. We hold this program in 2010, and it was also the induction as a president of the FAED during my presidency as well. So the main objective then was to start reaching out, telling our colleagues that, hey, dentistry, aesthetic dentistry have changed. Companies now, especially with Shofu, have revolutionized bonding system that you might be able to do minimally invasive treatment. So what should we do? We know, I think, from the past, they have already invited very good professors, trainers, all the way from Brazil and also from Greece, to shed also some light and say, this is how we do minimally invasive treatment. So we have a chance to work with some of the very good, world-renowned lecturers, and also be trained. And the goal is to really share to the younger generation and also to the dentists who have been looking at doing a lot of invasive treatment. So beyond that, we also think once we have the learning and learn all these ways, how do we share this? So how do we share this? So I was also invited and say, we do some workshop and just to share it for our local counterpart, but we also go reach out to our other Asian brothers and countries and talk to them about the minimally invasive workshop protocols. It's some part of our not just duties, but the willingness to share and the willingness to teach. During the pandemic period, we are also, and of course with the help of Shofu, our partners, think of a way how to reach out to our dear colleagues. And we were very successful in reaching out to around 6,000 members during the pandemic time by sharing different cases, different scenarios, and also changing the protocols. How about in local scene? What did we do in our local scene? From the earliest time that we started in 2011 and 12, we started to move and say, because Philippines is an archipelago, we have around 7,000 islands that we have to reach out. We knew for a fact then that social media is not yet there, online lectures are not there, so we start to work on with our very young doctors, our key opinion like Dr. Kim, Dr. Says. We moved from the north downward all the way to the south, with also, of course, with the help of our dear friend from our suppliers from Shofu as well, and slowly teaches our young doctors, also seasoned dentists, to come out and say, we want to have and we want to give them and teach them the best treatment option that they can do for their patients. And not just that, like I said, some of us are in the profession and in the university. We encourage now not just the dentists, but we also encourage young students. Dr. Says Acero paved the way and has also started to say, let's launch this to the young dentists or the young students who may be in the near future, not just to look at the they would think about doing invasive treatments, but start them young, start them fresh, right? And we come up with some simple competitions competitions that will pave their way in their future clinical duties and work. So what are the different treatment protocols that we shared, like Dr. Ronnie shared already? As simple as doing simple um, simulation protocols. We started from this, doing hands-on workshop, also doing freehand technique, okay? And they will be shared to you later on by our prestigious lectures in a few moments. But just to show you some glimpse of what we are now sharing with our young doctors. Cases like small restorations that can really make a big change in their lives. Cases like patients who have deciduous retained canine that they want to have it pulled out. The thing is, they don't have a chance. They're in the limelight models, working in the industry, that they need to be always on the go. Do you need to do right away, like pull them out and do a more invasive treatment? Or maybe we can do some simple like cases like just a quick restoration. But this will help them also share in their social media. And if we look at maybe more extensive cases, of course, some of you would always say, how do you, since we have that same MICD protocol already, can we do something more extensive cases like this that we know for a fact patients might not have enough budget to work on? Yes, you would understand that maybe indirect restoration will be the right option for this. But in the cases like in our country, wherein patients are more, I would say, cost conscious. They want to say not just conserve good structure, but they really want to maintain it. And like Dr. Ronnie said, you can still prolong the treatment before jump to the next step, which is to do crown, and in the near future delay everything for the far possible implant treatment. Unlike way back, once you see cases like this in our hometown in the Philippines, most of our dentists, they would say, there's no way you can do restoration of this. Maybe extraction would be the best option, or maybe a crown would be the suitable option. But by the time we learn about all of this, we say we still have a chance to give the patient the time and the option. Because of all this sharing, not just in lectures, not just in social media or even in your website or even your own personal social media, we now have encouraged a lot of dentists to come out from their shell and almost share, maybe not just in their own social media, and because of the help of the MICD Global Network and Shofu, they come up with a Smile Challenge in 2022 during its 100-year anniversary. And this is now, we now invited more than 180 plus dentists to share. Okay? What's good about this is we now see doctors who have been doing this for quite some time, and they don't have a chance to really come and tell a story. So we are really happy that the NYCD Global Network, with the help of our partner Shofu, created this Smile or MICD Smile Challenge Regional in 2022. In the end, I would also commend our dear colleagues from the MICD advocates who now have gathered again in the last year and promote these biological beautiful restorations that we are talking about. And we want to again go further with, again, our help with our partners, and share to our dear colleagues what we will be installing in the future. Okay? So, with that, I'd like to tell you about the movement. It will keep on continuing. We will keep on pursuing the best options for our dear doctors. And thank you very much again. And mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you, Dr. Sonny. Are there any questions for Dr. Sonny at this point? I think none. Thank you, Dr. Sonny. Would like to call in the chairman of Shofu Asia Pacific, Mr. Patrick Doc, to award Dr. Sonny Burias.
giám đốc của cái ông đó trên video ông này ông trợ giảng nha, ông nói người Singapore nữa, ông Singapore nữa. Suy nghĩ là
Okay, so for now we will take a pause for our tea break. You can